Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered what is out there? Our solar system is a big and amazing place. Sun, the 8 planets that circle it, moons, asteroids, dwarf planets like Pluto. But what happens when you travel even farther out? What lies at the very edge of our solar system? It is a place full of mystery, a place so far away that it's hard to even imagine. This is where our sun's family of planets ends, and the vastness of interstellar space begins. It is a frontier we are just beginning to understand. Scientists are like detectives, always looking for clues to solve big puzzles. One of the biggest puzzles is what forms the boundary of our solar system. For a long time, we thought Pluto was the last stop. But now we know there is so much more beyond it. Huge region. So, what is this mysterious thing at the edge of our solar system? Scientists call it the Oort Cloud. It is a giant spherical shell that surrounds our entire solar system. Think of it like a huge, thick bubble. Our sun, the planets, everything else we know are all inside this bubble. The Oort Cloud is the outermost layer of our solar system. It is like the final frontier before you leave our sun's influence completely. This amazing idea was first suggested by an astronomer named John Oort. He was trying to figure out where some comets came from. The Oort Cloud is incredibly far away from us. It is hard to picture just how far it is. Imagine the distance from the Earth to the Sun. The Oort Cloud starts at a distance that is thousands of times farther than that. It is so far that it would take our fastest spacecraft, like the Voyager probes, tens of thousands of years to get there. This vast distance makes it a very difficult place to study. It sits in the cold, dark space between the stars. It marks the boundary where our sun's gravitational pull is just barely strong enough to hold on to these distant objects, keeping them as part of our solar system's family. What exactly is the Oort Cloud made of? It is not made of fluffy white clouds like the ones we see in our sky. Instead, it is made of trillions of icy objects. These objects are called comets, or sometimes icy planetesimals. They are like giant dirty snowballs floating in space. Each one is a mixture of ice, dust, and rock. The ice is not just frozen water like you'd find in your freezer. It is also made of other frozen gases like methane, ammonia, and carbon monoxide. These are materials that were very common when our solar system was just a swirling disk of gas and dust. These icy bodies are the leftover building blocks of our solar system. Billions of years ago, when the planets were forming, there was a lot of extra material. Some of it came together to form Earth, Mars, Jupiter, but a lot of the smaller, icy chunks were thrown far out into space by the gravity of the giant planets. They were flung to the outermost reaches of the solar system, where they began to form the Oort Cloud. They have been orbiting out there in the deep cold ever since. If the Oort Cloud is so huge and full of trillions of objects, you might wonder why we can't see it. Why don't we see a giant glowing shell when we look through our telescopes? There are a few very important reasons. The first reason is distance. The Oort Cloud is incredibly, unbelievably far away. Even the closest parts are thousands of times farther than the sun. They are too far from our star's light to be lit up. Floating in almost complete darkness, they are practically invisible. Another reason. The objects are very small and dark. Most comets there are only a few miles across. Imagine spotting a dark rock the size of a mountain from trillions of miles away. That's impossible with current technology. These comets are coated in dark, dusty material that reflects almost no light. They rank among the darkest objects in our solar system. Small, dark, and extremely far away. The perfect hide-and-seek formula. The third reason is sparsity. Even with trillions of comets, the space between them is gigantic. The cloud is mostly empty. A spaceship could pass through without noticing. You'd be very unlikely to hit a comet by accident. The Oort Cloud may be invisible and far away, but it sends us visitors from time to time. Every once in a while, something disturbs the peaceful orbits of these comets. It could be the gravity of a passing star or a nudge from another Oort Cloud object. This little push can be just enough to send a comet on a new path falling toward the inner solar system. This journey can take millions of years. As the comet gets closer to the sun, it starts to heat up. The ice on its surface turns into gas, creating a glowing cloud called a coma, and a long, beautiful tail. This is when we can finally see these messengers from the edge of our solar system. Studying these comets is our best way to learn about the Oort Cloud right now. When a comet like Hale-Bopp or Neowise graces our skies, scientists get very excited. They use telescopes and spacecraft to study the light and the materials coming off the comet. This tells them what the comet is made of. It helps them test their theories about the conditions in the early solar system. If you learned something new, hit like and subscribe.